Hey you Lorcana players out there, this is Lunch and I'm coming to you with a Lorcana video. That's right, I'm going to start doing some of these now, branching out into a few other games. I've been playing this game for the past couple weeks, my friends got some at Gen Con, and it's honestly pretty fun. I've been having a good time with it. However, right now it can be kind of annoying to get the cards since it's only kind of partially released. This weekend it comes out kind of the full release when the big box stores get it. And it's been annoying for people to get cards, get decks. Some of the stuff's a little more expensive, and especially for newer players or players that haven't played TCGs before, it can be kind of hard and kind of daunting to get these cards that, cost $30, $40 each. But basically, I just wanted a deck that people could pick up, play, get some wins at locals, and this deck is strong enough to actually beat decks at locals as well. I've been playing something very similar, as I personally didn't get a whole lot of packs. I've got a couple extra card stuff in, but this is basically the deck I've been playing at locals and doing relatively well. I'm going to go over now the three main combos for the deck. As you see, it's red-purple. The main idea of the deck is you're going to try and leverage advantage. So you're going to try and do as many 2-for-1s, take out your opponent's big cards, and draw cards yourself. And then you're going to use magic brooms in order to cycle back in your Dragonfires, Dr. Facilier's, friends on the other sides, so you can keep playing those cards over and over again and wear your opponent down. So the first combo, as I said, is Mickey Mouse and Magic Broom. The idea here is you keep Mickey on the field in active mode, and your opponent can't get rid of it without expending something big on their side. And then you just keep playing your Magic Brooms over and over again, shuffling things back, allowing you to play your Dragonfires multiple times, allowing you to play your Mickey Mouses over and over again. It just is an inevitable amount of cards that your opponent has to deal with. The other way you can do it is with Dr. Facilier. He works like Mickey, where whenever a magic broom dies, it goes back to your hand instead of going to the discard pile. He can also work with any of your other cards as well. So things like Gaston, that's some of your removal, things like Zeus with Rush, things like recycling back more Pongos, so your opponent just can't deal with them. It's also great to add Maleficence back to your hand because that allows you to draw more cards or get more Rush with Rafiki. Facilier kind of works with almost every card in this deck. And one way to facilitate those even more is if you can get White Rabbit's Pocket Watch on the field, because for a very cheap 1 ink, you can just give a character Rush. So you can do things like play a Gaston, give it Rush for 1, attack. If you have Facilier on the field, it goes back to your hand and you can play it again. It's just a lot of inevitability and a lot of card advantage built into one deck. The other big combo with this deck is the Elsa plus Shield of Virtue. So Elsa, honestly, I think is one of the best cards in the set, and it's probably still even undervalued, even though people think it's strong. The ability to exert your opponent character at will is very good, because when your opponent plays a character, they have to wait a turn for it to quest to start generating lore. Once they play their character, you can just use your Elsa to tap it and then remove it with either something like Gaston or something like Zeus, or even just trade a bunch of Magic Brooms and Maleficence into it and then get all those cards back to your hand. The big weakness of Elsa is once she's exerted, your opponent can attack her. So that's why we're playing a bunch of LeFou and Shield of Virtue in order to stand her back up after using her ability so your opponent can't actually kill her. And then if they end up doing something like dragon firing her or something, you can just cycle her back again with your magic brooms. So basically this is the idea. You're going to want to keep your Elsa on the board with a Shield of Virtue, with playing LeFous from your hand. Use that to give you things to challenge, and then you challenge with magic brooms and Maleficence and grab them back to your hand with Mickey Mouse and Dr. Facilier. There's 2 main cards that you could add to this deck that would definitely turn it into a tier 1 deck from just a good local deck that you can play for cheap. The first one is Be Prepared. This is just another card you can cycle back, except this, unlike Dragonfire, answers multiple things. So if you end up falling behind too far, you can just drop a Be Prepared and then start setting up your combos again. The other big one is the Evil Queen, and this is going to be really good at just generating draw and card advantage. It also works really good with Shield of Virtue, where you can tap her to draw a card and then just immediately untap her with Shield of Virtue so your opponent can't actually kill her. Or if you want, you can just tap her, Shield of Virtue her back to active, and then tap her to draw again or quest with her. That way you can either just get 2 cards or start generating your win. Overall, I think Dr. Facilier in particular is really underrated right now. I'm surprised at how cheap the card is. It's probably a good card to pick up right now, as honestly, this card is incredible because your opponent has to answer it or you're going to win the game. It just generates way too much advantage. And if they're going to spend something like Dragonfire on it, then you can just pop it back with your Magic Broom and play more of them. Thanks for watching my discount Elsa Broom Control deck profile. If you have any ideas on how to add to or improve the deck, please leave a comment below. Go out there, play some Lorcana, and have some fun.